So the people want to know if you are going to watch Gilmore Girls this fall again.
I'm guessing you're going to watch Gilmore Girls this fall.
Great.
So I'm guessing I'm watching Gilmore Girls this fall.
I'll cheers to that. Do you not watch White Christmas and Home Alone during Christmas time? No, you have to. It's a thing. Gilmore Girls is a fall thing. I already had a pumpkin cold brew today at Starbucks. So officially, fall starts today in this house.
We live in Miami. It's been summer for the last 30 years of my life.
Listen, I brought out my only long sleeve shirt today. Fall starts today. Welcome to our fall TBR. I'm going to start off the fall with Shadow of the Wind. Heads up, I'm not somebody who likes to read the back of books. I don't like to read synopsis. I don't really even like to read reviews that have any kind of summarization in books, because then I feel like there's no chance of me being surprised by a book if the summary gives it all away and I can already start connecting the dots before I start to read it. This definitely is giving me Gentleman in Moscow vibes. Definitely like that book. I know he liked it a lot more, and I think did you already read this one?
It doesn't just give Gentleman in Moscow vibes. It is Gentleman in Moscow.
But in Barcelona.
I already read it. Yes.
But in Barcelona, 1945.
It's fantastic. Yeah. I really, really, really like this book, and I actually think that it's perfect for the fall because it's kind of it's a little dark and gloomy, but not all the way dark and gloomy. It's very European in a way.
Whoa.
Which I really, really liked.
New York Times says it's Gabriel Garcia Marquez meets Umberto Eco meets Jorge Luis Borges for a sprawling magic show.
Mm-hmm. It is a lot about the personal stories of these characters, but it does have the backdrop of a historical period of this country that was, it's very impactful, very important, but it is kind of very Gothic.
Well, yeah, also. It's like literally the first review on here says it's Gothic.
Yeah, it's like Barcelona, but it's like Barcelona always at night.
We just came back from Barcelona. Barcelona at night is very different from Barcelona during the day.
Correct.
Stephen King says, if you thought the true Gothic novel died with the 19th century, you will change your mind. There you go. So again, this is Shadow of the Wind by Carlos Ruiz Zafón. Mm-hmm. How many stars did you give it?
4 out of 5. Even though I don't believe in stars. I believe in, was it a good use of time or a waste of time?
Okay.
It was a good use of time.
All right, well,
worth the time.
To read it next. That's my next one. What are you reading next?
What would you consider a fall book? Like, does it have to be like a thriller, mystery?
No.
Something kind of gloomy?
No, because I'm a vibe reader. So like in summer, I will read anything with the word summer in it that's on my bookshelf. I'll try to read it.
That's probably the worst season, isn't it? Like, those are probably the worst books.
Loves reading in the summer because it's
they all have the same kind of cover.
Yeah, but I mean, like I said, we were just at the beach a few weeks ago, and I finished The Summer of Broken Rules, which was really cute. And then I went to go start the fourth wing, and we're sitting on the beach, and I'm like, this is too much right now. I can't handle world building when the beach is right in front of me. Like, I need something soft, airy, light, and fluffy and fun. And then fall is kind of more moody, Gothic, for me anyway, more cozy, more thriller, more, scary stuff.
People you meet on vacation?
No, People You Meet on Vacation is what I'll read when I'm on vacation.
But that's a summer book, right?
Yeah, that's a summer.
So that's a book you would read
in the summer.
And they all have a cover, just like People You Meet on Vacation. So I'm in this quest to try to finish all of the, finish all of the Stormlight archive books. And honestly, it's a bit of a challenge. The next one that I'm going to be reading is Oathbringer, which is the third book in the series. And dude, it's crazy. Pretty much all the books are 45 hours long in terms of an audiobook. And I think that equals to about maybe 1,200, 1,300 pages. Kind of insane how Brandon Sanderson is able to write books that are 45 hours long of listening. Every single chapter, every single scene feels relevant. So like Brandon Sanderson is kind of like a prodigy. But yeah, so right now I'm gonna try to get into Edge Dancer, which is like a 2.5 installment, and then Oathbringer, which is another one of those big, massive 45 hours worth of reading. Which I gotta say, the characters and the personal dramas in the Stormlight Archive, even though you have these, it's an incredible fantasy epic. The characters are still the center stage, So the fact that he is able to make you care more about the characters than any of the incredible fantasy things that are taking place is showing you how good of a writer he is. Anyway, so yeah, Stormlight Archive, strongly recommended. I think that it is, aside from Game of Thrones, it's probably the most influential fantasy series that we have going on right now. So.
All right, so next up, I want to read The Dead Romantics. So again, it's like a cute little romance, what I'm assuming. However, there's ghosts in it.
So it's fall. Okay.
So romance is dead, but this isn't what she had in mind. So a little bit of ghostly romance in here.
You see what I mean? About people you meet on vacation?
Yeah, they look a lot.
You see it, right?
It's a style.
Yeah.
Minimalist looking.
I appreciate it. You know. And I see this cover, it basically says, Guille, don't waste your time.
Oh my gosh.
It's
For me, it
it's
says-
not for everybody.
For me, it's like, Ali, does it look so pretty on your shelf?
My next book is one of the Jack Carr books in the series. This is actually one of those few series that I do read that it's kind of like episodic. They come out with one almost every single year. Yeah, it's Only the Dead. It's the one with the James Reese series. This is the one from Amazon Prime. I actually started reading the book. It's as good as all the other ones. But it suffers from the same problem as all these series, which is that I can't really remember it all so well. So it's like a really, really fun ride. But then 6 months later, someone asks you about it and you don't remember if it was the fifth or the fourth or the third, or was that the one with the Russians or the North Koreans? I don't remember.
All right. Next up on my TBR is The Four Winds by Kristen Hanna. I cannot express to you exactly why. It's a fall mood read for me, other than the cover.
It's a little sad.
Can you see the glitter?
You know what's funny?
What?
I actually started reading that book and I got about 15% of the way in it.
Uh-huh.
I liked it. It's a little bit jaded, like in the way that like an older person kind of would write about experiences.
More serious.
Yeah. And it was nice.
Again, my fall reading vibe.
It is definitely a mood. Like it is definitely like
There you say a vibe.
like yeah. But it's one of those, it's like, you know, she has a hard life, but she lived ultimately a fulfilling life
ever after.
And then she's just there, just rocking back and forth on her porch with her 2 or 3 grandkids with her second husband. You know? It's like one of those things. What?
With her second husband?
Well, yeah, you know, the first one never works out. It's like the burnt pancake. Like the first pancake.
Are you calling me a first pancake?
Oh. Cut. To be honest with you, I'm probably going to end up reading this book. So you could just put it on my TBR as well. And by that I mean you could put it on my Goodreads because she manages my Goodreads.
The dude needs a social media manager for his Goodreads. Can't like...
No, I just have a secretary. That's the whole point. Hashtag marriage.
You're next. Your turn.
Red Rising.
Ooh.
So this seems to be like another kind of like Divergent type of thing. So I'm a little bit apprehensive. I mean, I've heard really, really great things about this series. So I'm interested in giving it a shot. It's supposedly it's about, you know, a dystopian future, different factions, and then the lowest faction is trying to come up, and that's the Reds or whatever. I don't know that much about the book. I've heard that it's actually pretty hardcore. So
In what way?
Like
Because we all
violent, I
know.
guess. Violent?
Oh, violent? There's a lot of ways books can be hardcore. Anyway, next up. I have never read anything by Riley Seer, and I am extremely excited to because I just keep hearing everyone saying that he is fantastic. I have heard that some of his books can be misses, but a lot of the books are absolute hits. And from my understanding, I could be wrong, this is like his scariest, most intense book. I mean, just look at the vibes. Like, it's giving Stephen King. A lot of my friends are really into, you know, Halloween and thrillers and horror books, and they read them throughout the entire year, and this is one of the best ones, they say. So I'm really excited to read it around Halloween time. Again, it's Final Girls by Riley Seer. If you liked Gone Girl, you'll like this, says Stephen King.
I feel like Stephen King at this point, they just kind of pay him for his advertising.
Dude, 10 years ago, college student Quincy Carpenter went on vacation with 5 friends and came back alone.
So my next one is actually
A Riley Seer.
only one left. And I don't know anything about it except the fact that it's actually very popular. It also looked a little bit creepy, which it's been a while since I've actually read a mystery or a thriller or anything like that.
This is also on my TBR. It was part of my book stack, and he just stole it. No, I'm joking. We both want to read it. Some stuff from...
What is that one about? Why did you pick it if you don't know what it's about?
Because Goodreads says so.
So what it's about?
At 17, Lenora Hope hung her sister with a rope.
Okay, I'll read.
Oh my god.
That's good. That's good. What is the other book from the vampires of the southern...
Oh, yes, but I don't have that one physically, but it's on your TBR.
You see what I mean? That she manages my Goodreads?
How to Sell a Haunted House. New book, Grady Hendrix. This is the first one we read. The Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires.
I actually really like that book.
How to Sell a Haunted House.
How to Sell. Interested to read that one. Simply because, to be honest with you, I think who writes the book is so much more important than what the book is actually about. Yeah. In all honesty, that's why sometimes you see a book and the name of the author is actually larger than the like David Baldacci.
You're right.
You know, David Baldacci is, or James Patterson, or any of these people, their name is bigger on the book than the actual title of the book, and it's for a reason.
Next up, this one is on both of our TBRs.
It is?
Yes. Can you make sure? This is The House Made by Frida McFadden, by the way. I don't think I mentioned that. But every day I clean the Winchesters' beautiful house top to bottom. I pick up their daughter from school, and I cook a delicious meal for the whole family before heading up to eat alone in my tiny room on the top floor. I try to ignore how Nina makes a mess just to watch me clean it up. She tells strange lies about her own daughter and how her husband Andrew seems more broken every day. But as I look into Andrew's handsome brown eyes, so full of pain, it's hard not to imagine what it would be like to live Nina's life. They say it's fantastic, and there's already a second one coming out that has come out, The Housemaid's Secret. That's like a second part. So if this is really good and I tear through it, I might just skip something else, and the second one might jump up into the TBR for fall. Like her. I want to read The Paris Apartment by Lucy Foley. I've actually never read a Lucy Foley book before.
I have. It's gonna have that little yellow macaroni on it any moment now.
Explain to the people what the little yellow macaroni is.
Reese Witherspoon. I've read 3 books from that book club. Have not been into them. So that's it. Pretty much at this point, if I see that yellow macaroni on any book, it just basically means not for you. Move on.
By the way, can we talk about the perfect condition that this book is in? And I got it at a used bookstore. Like, it's brand new. It's a newer book.
What does that say?
So Jess needs a fresh start. She's broken alone, and she's just left her job under less than ideal circumstances. Her half-brother Ben didn't sound thrilled when she asked if she could crash with him for a bit, but he didn't say no, and surely everything will look better from Paris. When she shows up to find a very nice apartment, could Ben really have afforded this? He's not there. Okay, so missing brother in Paris. That's it for me. I think from all of my books, the ones that I'm most excited for are the 2 Riley Seers, The Shadow of the Wind, and the Kristen Hanna. Oh, and I guess the Grady Hendrix, How to Sell a Haunted House. Basically, I'm excited for a lot of them. For all of them. So what are you currently reading? We've said it like a million times. But
what are we reading? I am reading A Fourth Wing because every now and then I have to read what all the girls are reading just to see what you girls are up to.
It's really good.
I wouldn't say really.
I would say really. So, hot take. I'm not a fan of Akatar, but
Cold take. I'm not a fan of Akatar. And I can say that I read the first one, alright?
yes, I did the whole series. It was good. It was nothing that I fell in love with.
I'm not shaking my head at the fact that you read the series. I'm shaking my head at the fact that you're not a fan of it, and you didn't realize that by 3 books into a 5-book series.
Like with anything,
Uh-huh.
you want to be in the know. You want to know what everyone's talking about, and then once you're like, the first book was whatever. The second book got a little more, definitely more interesting. And then by 2 books in, now you're like, okay, well, I want to know what happens with these characters. Might as well just finish the.
Might as well just
series.
take another 60 hours out of my life and,
Sure.
and finish reading.
It was okay. I'm not a big fan. Wasn't a big fan of the series, but it was still, like I said earlier, like if I finished a book, it's because I thought it was well worth it. I'm not afraid to DNF things. Okay, no, that's a lie. I'm terrified to DNF things because I have FOMO. But with Akatar, it was just okay. Well, let's find out what the heck happens to these fairies. It was good. Then everyone starts talking about this one, and I'm like, it's gonna be the same thing. It's gonna be like mediocre. I read like a chapter. It was like I was like 4 pages into a Fourth Wing, and I'm like, this is literally. And I was sitting right next to her. I turned to you. I'm like, this is freaking Divergent and Hunger Games all over again. But I kept reading because I want to know what everyone's talking about. I am now 40% in, and I'm enjoying it more than I enjoyed Divergent. Love the characters, loving the dragons. It's given me a little bit of Divergent, Hunger Games, and Harry Potter all in one. Potter vibes.
I am also reading Fourth Wing. I wish I could say, unfortunately, I am reading Fourth Wing, but I'm not. It's not bad. It's definitely not a book that is written for me, but it is written in a way that it's just entertaining. It's just entertaining. It's like saying like, yeah, McDonald's is not good food, but I'm not gonna tell you when I pop a chicken nugget in my mouth, it doesn't taste okay. You know, it's entertaining, and it's written extremely fast.
Yeah.
It's a book that is not short, but it doesn't feel like it's wasting a single second. I think the writer knows how to write scenes, how to write moments. Every single scene, every single chapter has a conflict. It doesn't really waste a chapter just on world building. It's actually having conflict within every single scene. And as a result, the book is just very entertaining, even though most of the time or half the time, I am rolling my eyes because 25% of it is about, a teenage girl saying how much she wants to bone some dude.
But
I have to admit, though, Fourth Wing, pretty good.
Palette cleanser.
I kind of want to hate that book, but I kind of can't. I want to say I'm enjoying it, but I kind of am.
oh my god. I'm out of wine.
Yeah, I'm out of beer, too.